Hello, you beautiful crafters and you wonderful makers out there. Welcome back to my channel here at The Craft of Living. Back again to give you another update on market number 2 of my whole entire life. Never done markets ever before, never done pop-up shops ever before. I've crocheted my whole entire life. And it wasn't until I found the fluffy yarn did it totally change my world, change my life. You know, you're going from basically tiny thread crocheting to a totally different ball game. Now, this is my Rusky. He is my piece de resistance. He is one I'm pretty sure I'll never create again. This is from a beautiful Russian lady. She made this pattern. Oh my gosh, I'm getting sidetracked because he's just so much fun. He really reminds me of Winnie the Pooh. At first, I couldn't get past these weird ham hock legs, but now that I'm used to them, they're so... Boy, did I have to go to great lengths though to get this one. Even the yarn I had to order from Russia. But I'm getting off track here. This type of crochet totally changed my life. You know, I would come into my old job with creations like this, or like the mermaids that you've seen on my channel before, and they would be like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing, you should sell those. And my automatic response was, oh my god, no, because then it's gonna become rote, and then it's going to just, I'm gonna hate it, and it's gonna make me have something that I used to love and take enjoyment out of, and then I'm gonna hate it because it's gonna be in the work category. But I have recently learned a different word for work. So instead of work, we're not working, we're creating something. Whether you're creating money, whether you're creating abundance, whether you're creating a livelihood that supports your passions and dreams, whether, you know, say you're chopping wood, okay? Some people might call that work, but you're creating fuel for fire and warmth. You're creating warmth. So we're always in a process of creating because we're creators. Even if you think you're not artistic, you're still creating. You had to think of that sandwich before you went and made it or created it. So we're all creators, and we interact in this life, in this world as creators. And yeah, so I got rid of the word work and tried to replace it with create. And you know, it's a creation in progress, because I'd say the first market I went to, I was terrified. Oh my god, terrified. Didn't want to do it. So many fears, so many beliefs came up about what it was going to be like, what it was going to feel like. And I couldn't even make a decision after going to the first market because it's still too soon. It's still too fresh. You have no idea what's routine, what's expected and what isn't. So there is a big learning curve with me there, and I wanted to see, I'm the kind of person that I guess I'm very impatient, and I'm analyzing. I overthink everything. Totally. I admit, even my husband called me out. He's like, you're analyzing the market while you're at the market. I'm like, yes. He's like, the market's not even halfway through, and you're trying to analyze if it's a good investment of time and energy. And I'm laughing because I realize there's no way of knowing that in such a short period of time. And I know he's right. But I can't help being like, should I keep doing this? This is kind of a lot, like setting up and breaking down. But the way I feel about it right now, going into market number 3, where this is almost a repeat of last week's video, where I think I'm gonna make it a habit of doing these videos on Thursdays, because that's when I go get my application for the other market. But I did decide on this last market, because it was slower than last time, I'll just let you know right now, that I need to try a different market, because I might find different demographics that are looking to spend money. Most of the demographics at this market are looking to save a buck. Oh, but that just doesn't go with boutiquing. But that also says why my $5 bins were such a success. Now, that being said, I have to say that my $5 Pocket Friend bins was a grand opening special, and that's it. And I think I'm discontinuing the $5 Pocket Friends, even though they're a hit. I know what you're thinking. What are you doing? This is like your biggest hit. It's just simply not sustainable for me. Like on the first day on Monday, I spent all my time, I think a good solid 2 hours, just creating these 4 guys. 4 little guys in 2 hours. I know, right? How could it take me that long? And I don't feel like I'm a slow crocheter. I would say I'm a medium crocheter. Depending on the project, I can be extra fast. This is a fairly new project for me, and it slows me down a bit doing the clean color change there. And it does slow me down a little bit trying to do the jogless stripe here. Even though it's a simple technique, it's just little things, you know, that add a couple more minutes to your projects. But, you know, I have my prices set for a reason. I didn't just like, I think that looks about 20 bucks. Like, no, I don't do that. Some stuff, granted, you kind of have to do that because your amount of time that you put in the project just cannot translate into, you're going to have to take an hourly cut. If you're going to choose products and projects that take you a long time and they're intricate, you're probably not going to be able to charge what you're exactly worth for that, at least at an hourly rate. It's the price may be too high. At least this is what I do. I mean, everybody else can do what they want. They can set their shawls at 400 and stuff like that. That's cool. I'm totally all for it. But for me personally, that's setting the bar too high right off the bat. So yeah, I realized after I got done making all of these, and I put in my good quality work of whatever I do, and I was like, gosh, that's like 20 bucks. And that doesn't feel worth it for me. And not only does it not feel worth it, it really isn't sustainable, because when I run my numbers, like I was saying before, pardon me, I often get side railed. There's just so much going on in my head, and I just can't wait to share it all with you guys. But when I work out my price for, say, these guys, by the way, this one is super awesome because he has like a swirl that happened naturally. I don't know. Don't you just love it when that happens? I kind of kept him because I'm like, I'm going to keep this one. He's so cute. But I'll probably end up selling him. He'll just stay with me for a little while. But my point being was that when I wrote up the formula for this guy, he takes me 30 minutes to make, you know, as simple and sweet and cute as he is, he still takes me 30 minutes. And when I do my formula with that, just the price of this yarn, first of all, this yarn is so expensive here. I'm going to tell you, when I get this color yarn, it's called Sonoma, it takes, it's about $15 for one 10.5 skein. $15 for one 10.5 skein. So that's a lot. So this material obviously may not be $15 worth, but taking out the fraction, and I think it's about 50 cents or $1 per eye on these guys. So even that's pricey. And then this color yarn, you know, that's like, I don't know, a few cents or whatever. I add that all in. And if I give myself $15 an hour, and I divide that by 2 to equal 30 minutes, right? And I add that, and I get that total. Then I add 30% on that, because I'm not just trying to sell my crafts, I'm trying to run a business. And I need that profit margin so that I can pay for all of those other prices that require to run a business, like, you know, let's say you have a website, there's going to be a fee annually and sometimes monthly for that, for your website fees. There's tags that you get for your products and things that cost money. You know, it costs money to print out these tags, right? And have them printed on both sides and on the color that you want. All of these things kind of add up and add to that price. So that 30% profit margin is where I get to do this again and again. So when I add that all up with the material, the cost of the eyes and the cheeks and my time, because I give myself, like I said, $15 an hour gross which really isn't that much, especially over here, he comes out to $15. And you know, there's that part of me that that feels unworthy, like, oh really, but I can do that so easily. Should it really be that much? And really what I have experienced is when something comes easy to you, you don't value it. So you want to price it low because you think, well, can anybody do it? Like, no, not everybody can do that. Just because there's a lot of people and a lot of people on your algorithm that can do that doesn't mean the rest of the world can do that. I mean, sometimes we get so stuck in our algorithms and we just, I mean, I know I do. And I just think, well, everybody can do that. I see it all over the internet. I'm like, no, that's cool. Those are your other, you know, your other crafters, but not everybody can do that. So devaluing yourself, I feel, is a big lesson in this. And like, no, you took the time, energy, you went out and foraged for the ingredients to make these guys. So long story short, I can't charge $5 for these guys anymore. That was just an opening deal. I think they got to go up to 10 at least, because I really believe in round numbers. I don't know that everybody wants to be fishing around for odd dollars, like, oh, let's make them 12 or let's make them $8, or just round 5, 10, 15, 20, just to make it easy. So I thought I would just do a $10 pocket friend bin and sell these guys for $10 a piece. So this is my finished version. I still play around with the eyes. You can look at the eye differences between. So it's the first guy. Here's the second guy. See, his eyes are a little bit smaller. I'm pretty happy with this pattern. I've adjusted to my own liking, right? To my own preferences. This is him with big eyes, and you can see him with little eyes, littler eyes. I think I like, let's see. My son, who is my sampler for all of these, says he likes the guy with the little beady eyes the most. What's your vote? Big eyes, little eyes? Leave it in the comments below. Let me know. I just want to know. What's your vote, your opinion? Big eyes or little eyes? I mean, usually the more kawaii and chibi is big eyes, but sometimes littler eyes are more chibi and kawaii. So leave your vote down below on which one is cuter. So I did that. So this week, okay, is not a very productive week, which also I ran into. Please tell me if you guys run into the same thing. If you are a full-time, or you're wanting to be full-time, or you're working as, you know, full-time crochet, that's your goal. Maybe if you have another side job or a regular job and you're doing this on the side and you're hoping to segue, do you run into feelings of inadequacy of like, oh, I only made 4 puppets today? It's like, I always see videos of people on YouTube saying, this is all I made in the day, and they come like with this huge thing, and they're like, this is all, I'm like, that's all you made? Oh my God. Like, I don't know, but I'm also like trying to homeschool my son, run a household, and follow the life of my dreams. So I'm quite involved and busy, so might be a little bit different. But how do you guys feel? When you only make 1 or 2 things in one day and you're trying to do this on a regular, consistent basis, meaning it's not a hobby. It's not a hobby that you do on your spare time. You're actually trying to do stuff. Do you find it difficult when you are not producing as much as you thought you would or that you would like? Because I'm a little, like, I'm not 100%. I'm a little not feeling at my tip-toppest, so I'm battling whatever, and just trying to push myself, you know, like, come on, push it, come on, you can do it, come on, just make 1 more, come on, you can do this other thing and this other thing. And I really struggle with the back and forth of like, you need to do it, and can I do this instead? Let me know if you guys struggle with the same thing, because I want to know if those kind of thoughts run into your head, like, geez, all you did today was that? Like, couldn't you have done more? Like, because in my mind, I can do so much more. I'm like, I can bang that out. I can bang that out. Ah, that'll only take me a few minutes. But when it comes down to me doing it, it's like not the way I imagine it in my head. So I just want to know if you guys had that same issue too. So yeah, $5 pocket friends, gonna be $10 pocket friends. We'll see how that goes. And then, so let's just get into how I did last yeah, last weekend. So I make these little lists of everything that I sold, like I told you last week, just as to have a hard copy. And the first thing I sold was this guy. Oops, this guy. I sold this guy $10, and I'm thinking he needs to be 15 because of the same reason I just mentioned. He takes me a half an hour. I feel okay charging 15 for this one. They're almost the same size. They take the same amount almost of material and stuffing and eyes. And it's a little bit of a novelty with the, as we call it over here, the okole, or the fanny. Yeah, I think he felt underpriced at 10, being that this guy's 15 and the other chick that I had is also 15, around the same size, and that one was more involved, had more pieces to sew on. Ew. Sewing on is not that bad, but I'd prefer not if I could help it. So yeah, I think this guy needs to be 15. Yeah. So we're gonna make him 15 and see how he does. And then my scrunchies, they haven't been selling at all, guys. And I like I said, it was only 2 markets, so I'm hesitant to change the price yet. So what I'm gonna do, because it's just maybe the market, right? And if I go to a different market, it will be like no problem. But I do realize my scrunchies are a little bit on the high side. They're about $8, and it's mostly because of how much I need to pay to make the tags that go in them. That brings up the price a little bit. And then the wristlets are $9, and you know, they're just, I get it, it just might be the wrong demographic. So what I'm gonna do is run a sale, and I'll just say 2 for $10, mix and match anyone, 2 for $10. And then I'll just override my prices in Square, and I'll just put, yeah, I'll just input a custom price for that in Square, and I'll see how that goes. Maybe it'll go great, and then, you know, I'll change the prices of my scrunchies and wristlets. But for now, it's just, you know, this is me learning and adjusting, like, okay, no more $5 pocket friends, because it makes me feel very exhausted, because it makes me feel like I'm running my wheels. Like, it doesn't matter how many $5 things I make, I'm still going to be, I'm not gonna make what I need to make. So, so yeah, that was the first one that I sold, was the Cheekster. I sold a baby leggy. I sold a baby leggy. One baby leggy, because I was so frustrated last week with that pattern. I think I told you I reached out to the designer. She was so incredibly helpful. She solved my problem, and I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm not going to get derailed. But that one sold, my baby leggy. Second, he was only $5. I sold all my poppet mushrooms, sold again. Those were $5. I sold one large leggy frog, which was interesting. And then, you know what, I have to tell you this story, which is what I kind of began this video with, of really not valuing your work and what you do because it feels easy to you. Therefore, how could it be valuable to anybody else? Because can't anybody really do this if they really wanted to? No. So let me tell you, I tried making the poppet mushrooms for the first time in a velvet yarn from the Dollar Tree store. And I didn't have white, so I used crushed Bernat velvet yarn instead, which is like this weird white. It's like a white and a gray and a brown, and okay, sure, I guess it's white. Anyway, I made that on the bottom part of the mushroom. I made it with the crushed velvet and white, and then I did his cap in a velvet green. And he turned out cute, you know. I had a little bit difficulty with the eyes. I had a hard time seeing my stitches, and it was hard to really get that down right. And when I was done with him, I thought, he kind of looks like a poopy turd. I'm sorry, excuse me, but it just, I was like, he looks rotten. I don't even think I can sell, I don't even think it would be fair for me to sell him. I think he just needs to be used as stuffing. How about used as stuffing in my other projects? I'm not even gonna insult anybody with trying to sell him. Well, let me tell you, I was told and advised by family and friends and people that love me, like, don't be ridiculous. Of course he's gonna sell. Put him in the bin. And mind you, there was nothing wrong really with him except for where an artist sees their mistakes. Like, oh, I see that when he pops up, let's see, when he pops up, there was like this weird ridge over here that I didn't like, and it just, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was decreasing, or I don't know what happened, but I saw it as plain as day. Nobody else can see these things, you know, right? But I saw it and I didn't like it, and that's why I was calling him doo-doo. It's like, you're junk, I don't like you. And poor little guy, it wasn't his fault. He was actually very cute, but he just, I knew I could do better. That's mostly what it was. I knew I could do better. So anyway, long story short, put him in the bin, $5, right? It was the second thing that sold. This woman came up and she wasn't even gonna buy anything. She was actually trying to get something from me in donation terms for a good cause, by the way, very good cause. And I'm gonna leave details out so everyone can remain anonymous, but she came to me for donations for a really good cause, a cause that I believe in. And I told her, oh, not at this time. And she's like, okay, then maybe next time. And she starts to leave, and she notices my $5 bin, and she looks down, she looks at it. She sees that green guy, and she's like, oh. And she has no idea that it's a poppet. And I said, oh, those are poppets. You can pop their little caps off and back on. And she did it. You guys, the delight that came in her eyes was enough to last me at least a week or longer. I mean, that's really, I feel like, why we do this, right? To share in that joy. I mean, at least that's why I do it. I know that's why I do it. I can speak for myself, and I do it for that reason. Because, you know, she was generally nice and, you know, pleasant. But when she saw that, oh my God, her energy and auric field just lit up. She was bright. Her energy just skyrocketed right up. And she's like, oh, bink. And then she like ran out to strangers walking by, and she's like, look, check this out, bink. And she ended up getting it despite wanting to get something from me. She ended up getting something from me instead by purchasing it, which I took as a great compliment. And she said, this is the cutest one. I love him so much. And she just kept playing with him as she was walking away, bink. And then she's like, what should I call you? What should your name be? And I can't even tell you, that is exactly the type of owner I want my babies to go to. I want them to be tickled that they got this little creature, this little friend to be by their side, because it is infused with my love, energy, and intentions. And I know and I hope that people can feel that, because really it's like a good luck charm. It's like a talisman, and it's meant to bring you luck. So that is my intention when I'm creating these things, is just put all that good mana, good energy, good aloha feelings in there, and that they can feel that every time they hug. And it doesn't ever go away, it doesn't ever dissipate, it's programmed into the doll, into the item. And that is how I like to roll, because I just think they're magic. And when they're done, this one's not done with this cat wise, but when they're done, mwah, I like to give them a little kiss, and in my head, like, magic swirls around them, and then they come to life. And I know that's so silly, but that's my own little magic tricks that I like to do, and help spread love and joy with people. But yeah, so I sold the rest of the poppets. I sold one baby octo, and 0 big sales. So there wasn't one purchase over 15, not one. So that's why I was like, I think it's the wrong craft show. It was a swap meet. Like I said, it's a swap meet. It's not a craft show. I think a craft show would be different. There would be different people there with different intentions in regards to their spending. So I haven't experienced that yet. So I am not allowed to make any conclusions or analyze anything, just like my husband said. I haven't experienced enough yet. I still need to go out there and pound the pavement, as they say, but in a such better way than I would ever hope to pound the pavement. I'd so much rather do this. But so I think I may have walked home with like $100 that day. and I still had to pay the booth fee, which was $55 from that. So it wasn't a big hitting day, I would say that for sure. It was less hitting than the last time. But I'm gonna try it one more time this week because there's supposed to be a big made in festival happening on the same day. It's just gonna be after my market that I usually go to, the one that I've been going to these last 2 times, is going to be after that. So I think there's going to be a lot of people ready to go to markets, and so they might go to this one first and then they're going to go to that one after. And I'm hoping that that happens so I can get more traffic. And it also may have something to do with where I'm choosing to put my tent. And I realize that because where I choose to put my tent is in the shade where I can feel the most comfortable. And where that happens to be at is by all of the fruit and vegetable sellers. So that's like in the most back row where I guess my husband says that people come into the fair and they just go down the middle row and then they leave. And I'm like, who goes to a craft fair and only goes down the middle row and leaves? Like, when you pay to be admitted, don't you go down all of them and zigzag every which way you can to just hit them all, you know? But it's possible that most people don't. And, you know, I get that, but the center row is like blazing, scorching Sahara Desert sun for six plus hours, like right into your tent. No shade, no nothing, just like I don't feel like I want to jump to do that. Like, I'd rather be comfortable in crocheting and not make sales and just try a different market than be in that uncomfortable hotness. Oh God, like, I understand everywhere's gonna be hot, but whew, it's really hot. Like, me just checking out the other vendors, I don't want to hang around. It's just awful, like upper lip sweat right off the bat. So anyway, so yeah, so that was my sales. That was what I did. And I'm ready to try a new market. So after we're going to this market this week, I will try one in a neighboring town over on a Thursday. And, you know, I always feel so bad because I really appreciate the love and support that I get from my family. They're really encouraging me and helping me, and I feel so bad that I need a lot of hand-holding. You know, I need hand-holding and encouragement. I need a lot of that, especially with this new venture. And it's like my husband was saying, okay, try the town over. I was like, okay, I'm ready to try the next town over. And then I was like, when are you coming with me? And he's like, oh, I can't. I have this other obligation. I'm like, oh, then I don't want to do it. It was like, I don't want to do it all by myself for the first time. Like, I know. How many of you else feel like that, where you need that family support of friends or whatever? And how many of you are just rock stars and you're trucking through no matter come what may, and I don't need my hand held. Let's try this new one in the next town, and I don't care where I have to walk to my stuff to. We're just going to go and do it. Tell me, how many of you are like that, and how many of you need the hand-holding? Because I love and appreciate the hand-holding. So I've asked my brother to help me with this new town and new market on Thursday, to help me with that one. I have to fill out the application and turn it in still, but from what I understand from her, there's still vacancies, and from what I can see online, it looks like more of a match. But I'll have to go and experience that one and let you know how I did on that one. So I made those 4 poppets. I think I made this guy while I was at the fair. So I made that guy. I made this guy and this guy yesterday. Okay, now tell me in your comments below. Let's see. Starry-eyed frog, or chibi-eyed frog, or beady-eyed frog? Which is your favorite? Chibi, beady. You could just put that one word in the comments below. Chibi or beady. What's your vote for this frog? And yeah, how do you like it? I don't know. I like this guy more. Let me know what you guys think about that. So their bottoms came out really nicely, quite apple bottom frogs. On this one, they I did it one hook size up. So yeah, so I have those guys. And then I didn't finish his butt. See what it looks like without his butt. But I use a acrylic yarn to make that so it doesn't break as easy, and it's free in the pattern. You'll see that she shows that. But I made these two guys. So put your pointy head down, little froggy. Beady eyes or chibi eyes, which do you like more? And I always have to like pull them out. But I do like how the threads create little eyebrows for them. It's really cute. So I have that. And then, you guys, I'm so excited. I finally mastered my version of a leggy frog. So this was the one I just made up. And this was the one I was trying to model after. I know their eyes look so weird, right? They look like little ETs or, I don't know, little gizmo thingies. And I don't even know. But I ended up doing these ones inside out. That's just the way they go. I crochet them inside out, and then their hands go the way I want them to. Look, I conquered it! Yay! They go down, and they go regular, but they're cuter now though. So yeah, these guys will be in the $10 pocket bin, and we'll see how they do. And then if I just am really sick of things, I'll offer the $5 thing, of course, to just get rid of it. But for sustainability purposes, yeah, I guess I need to have them be a little bit more. What do you guys sell your baby leggies for? Just curious. Don't have to answer. What is the going rate? Because really you can't compare. I just like to see what other people are doing. Because you know, mainland prices versus island prices are gonna be so different, but I still want to know what you guys charge for your baby leggies. So those three, Chad, the cheeky toads, the baby leggy, the 4 poppets, and that is all I've done this week because I've just not been feeling myself. But yeah, I wanted to bring up scraps. Do you guys have scraps of yarn that you have from like finishing off, cutting off, whatever project you're doing? I collect them in a little baggie here, and then I use it for stuffing. What do you use your yarn scraps for? The only thing, if you are going to use it for stuffing, I advise against is I always put the polyfiber fill in the bottom. I put the scrap yarns in the center, and I try to put the polyfiber all around it, on the top and all around it, because sometimes the threads will poke out or it will peek through and you'll see like a black on your thing and you're like, what's that black? And then you'll look and it's like something inside, and that's where you can get stuck with it. But if your stitches are tight and you kind of do it with polyfiber fill, kind of like how I do, you can get away with using your scraps as stuffing, which I like to do. So tell me what you do with your scraps and how you use your scraps. You know, the ones that are just too tiny to do anything. I mean, I even have faux fur in here. What do you do with your scraps? Do you burn them in the fireplace? Or I guess that would be bad. It'd be really toxic. I don't know. But yeah, what do you do with them? And then I just share with you what I'm learning along the way. So I have learned about safety eyes. Oh yes, I have learned about safety eyes. I have learned that there are a lot of people that have tools out there to put these buggers in. And a lot of times I just ask my husband, I'll be like, I'm trying to get the darn thing in and it doesn't. I'm like, honey, can you please? My thumbs hurt. So I abhor these kinds of backs, guys. Let's see. Oh! These kinds of backs. Let's see. Can you focus on this here? So these are typically the ones from China. Yes. And you can see they're their side, you know, it's just like that weird, no, I can't get it to sticker stay, but I think you know what I'm talking about. The little ones from China, they just look like that. There's nothing fancy schmancy about them. They're just regular plastic backs. I hate these. I'm just gonna say it right now. I hate them. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. These don't always stay on the project. Like for instance, this is my personal leggy frog, and as I was showing you, his eye popped out. I'm like, what the heck? That never happens to me. So I need to figure out how to fix him now. He's not for sale, so. But anyway, I hate these backs. So what I have found is there's other companies that make different ones, and I love these ones. Glass Beads Online. She's another one that sells quality safety eyes with backs similar to these, but you can also find them on Amazon, which I've done. I've found a cheaper version on Amazon, but they have these backs. Oh my gosh, if you've been struggling with safety eyes, these look for these backs instead of those cheapy other ones. They just don't hold as well, because I get mine in this little, it's like a whole bin. I bought it this way. And that's the label. I had to write 15 millimeters because I couldn't find where in the heck that was on this label that I got with it. So that one is, it's good. So anyway, you can find them on Amazon. Like this one, for instance, is my chicken eyes, which takes a 12 millimeter. And they too have this, I don't know, it's like a tripod grasper, whatever, back safety clip thingy, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. And it's so much easier. Oh my gosh, it's like a dream. And I try and test it because I test them all, right? I want to know if they pull on it, will it just pop off? So I'm digging my nail in there. I'm trying to make it pop off. And it doesn't pop off. And a lot of times, the other ones I showed you previously, I don't try like an extensive period of time, but I do dig my nails in and like give it a good pull. And a lot of times I just go bink. I'm like, oh man, that means I got to use a different back because this back is not going to work. So I try to find a different size back, and it's a big, not fun. So anyway, let me know what safety eyes you use. If you use a tool to put it in, is it worth it to get the tool? What techniques do you have on getting these darn puppies in and staying in without popping off later? Do you have a secret method? Let me know, because I want to know your tools and tricks of the trade too. You guys hold lots of knowledge. Let's share our knowledge together. And let's see. Also, I want to know, what projects do you bring to your craft fair? Because I thought, oh, just bring anything. And then I realized, no, I cannot bring amigurumi because then I need to remember the eyes, then I need to remember the blush, then I need to remember the stuffing, then I need to remember the pattern, which I don't have memorized because I just have so many different patterns that I don't have really any of them memorized. But yeah, so let me know what you guys do. I'm excited. I'm glad you could come here and be with me. I love hanging out with you guys. It's so fun. I love reading all your comments, anything you want to talk about, anything you would like to see more, any questions that you have about this process or experience, let me know. I also learned how to add tax onto custom prices when I put in custom prices. I made a couple of sales that weren't in my square and they wanted to pay on card, and I didn't know how to add tax, so I just put in the custom prices and let them go without tax because I just, I don't want to make them sit around and while I try and figure it out. But I figured it out on the next one, and they came and they bought something that I didn't have in Square, and so I inputted the price, which is like $5 or whatever, and then you just press and hold. I think Square is the Apple of commerce, because I just press and hold the title, and then it gives you the option to add tax after that, and you could put add tax, and then it adds tax. It's so easy, and I just did it for the rest of my sales after that, so I wouldn't have to worry about it later. But yes, I'm gonna go sign up for the craft fair on this Saturday. I'm gonna go put in my application again, pay my booth fee, and put on a brave face and pick a stall and hope and wish for the best. And then I told myself too, I cannot just be crocheting the things that sell and wait for the things that sell in order for me to start crocheting again. I need to be crocheting all the things that sold and then everything else too. And then more of my mushroom guys. And then more of everything, basically. Because what happens when you sell out, or you sell a good portion, or you sell half? Then you're like, oh my God, now I need to scramble. No. Then I'll be ready because I've been making stuff the whole time. Not just, oh, today's an easy day because nothing sold last week and I can just take it easy this week. And see me, I'm like, get to it. So yeah, let me know what your rhythm is like. What is your rhythm of creation? I guess I want to know that too. What's your rhythm of creation? Are you go every day? Do you have 1 hour on and 1 hour off? How do you do it? Let me know your routine and what you do, crafters out there, because I just love hearing from you. And I think that's about it. But I send you all kinds of crafting energy and funness because this is a fun adventure, right? And we just have to learn to trust in the magic of ourselves and in this journey that we've chosen. Like my sister said, we have to trust in a journey that we've chosen. And also, if you've noticed, this is my husband's tank back here, and he does it all naturally. So all these plants are all living plants, and Buddha has a hairy head. It's a little algae hair, and I love it because he's so peaceful about it. And I just love his work. He does amazing tanks, although now he would be embarrassed, but still, I'm really proud of it. Anyway, I just had to add that in as a fun little 2 cents. And I hope you're having a really great day. Leave some comments down below if you found this video helpful or any other topics you are interested in knowing about and hearing about. And then I'll do it next week again. But until then, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Love and aloha to you. Until next time. Peace.